Well, I gotta say, man, I really enjoyed Raw XXX. I think the show was really fun, a nostalgic trip through Monday Night Raw's history. We obviously saw a lot of legends, a lot of holy shit moments, and yes, a lot of stuff was cheesy. A lot of cheesy catchphrases, a lot of stuff we've seen many times before, but that's how nostalgia works. No matter how many times we've seen it, it was still really fun to watch. This almost felt like a passing of a torch moment to me. I know some people will take a look at this show and think, why are you not focusing on the main talent? Why are you focusing on part-timers? This is called Raw XXX. Where are the goddamn women? It's a Monday Night Raw special to look at the history of Monday Night Raw, to look at some of the greatest Monday Night Raw moments, except for CM Punk. Yes, for whatever reason, they just decided that CM Punk does not exist. They kicked this episode of Monday Night Raw with Hulk Hogan, and he unfortunately suffered from some technical difficulties. He obviously welcomed everyone to Monday Night Raw. He's here to celebrate, you know, the rich history of Raw. Raw got bigger, and week it got better, brother. Just like... What, Hogan? Just like what? At times, it felt like he went on another offensive rant. He got a new microphone. Makes sense, someone that helped build the WWE, opened the show, love to see it. Although I gotta say, man, I was so disappointed that they didn't use the classic Raw stage. And there was one of the greatest segments I've seen of all time, the trial of Sami Zayn. So we see the bloodline, we see Sami Zayn, and Paul Heyman was really against Sami Zayn in this one. He says Sami is guilty as charged. He gave a lot of prosecution exhibits, you know, and basically showed a lot of moments where Sami Zayn didn't look like a trustworthy bloodline member, but you can tell in most of these it was either a misunderstanding and, you know, basically stuff taken out of context, as expected, because we all know Sami Zayn is loyal. The funny thing was he showed this moment right here. What? Are we NWO? Are we... What is this? As if that shows Sami Zayn is disloyal. So of course Sami Zayn is guilty as charged. Sami Zayn says, I don't have a defense. I'm just hurt by what Paul Heyman is saying because I thought he loved me. Roman Reigns gets angry. He goes on a rant. Is that how much you value this family? You don't even have a defense? After all the opportunities I gave you, Solo! My man just screamed Solo, and Solo knows what to do. He was about to hit Sami Zayn with a Samoan spike, but Uso cuts him off and says that, you know what? I have a video of my own, and he shows a bunch of examples of Sami Zayn actually helping the bloodline, being a loyal member of the bloodline, being a very valuable member of the bloodline. Jey Uso says, I didn't trust him before, but he showed that he's loyal, and even though I didn't trust him, he saw something good in me. I don't even need to mention how wild the crowd was. Everyone was chanting Sami Uso. Reigns says, Sami Zayn is not guilty. For now, I don't want to see you on SmackDown. I'll see you at the Rumble. At the Royal Rumble, you're going to have your final test. We'll see what this is all about. We are going to see Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what the hell is going to happen. Will Sami Zayn help Roman, or will he finally realize he is being used? But I gotta say, man, after this love, I don't even know if I want Sami to turn on the bloodline. This felt wholesome. This felt real. It honestly felt like the Usos actually care about Sami. Unlike Roman Reigns. All I gotta say, man, this was one of the best segments I've seen. Just a perfect way to kick off Monday Night Raw, and I'm glad they actually changed the segment. At first it was supposed to be an acknowledgement ceremony or something like that, and then it turned into this. And I like that because you sympathize with Sami. You root for Sami. It's an interesting scenario where you know that Sami is being used, but he feels like him being in the bloodline makes him happy. So you're like, I know he shouldn't be in the bloodline probably, but at the same time, I know that's what he wants, so I'm rooting for the guy. And then we saw the Raw Tag Team Championship match. This was a very good match, and what made it believable is the fact that it was for just Raw Tag Team Championship. So you never know who's going to win, right? Maybe WWE are splitting the championships, and I believe that could be the reason why it was only for Raw Tag Team titles to make it a little bit more believable. In the middle of the match, Jimmy Uso suffered an injury. He couldn't continue. Adam Pearce says, okay, you can't continue. I'm stripping you of the championships and I'm giving them to the Judgment Day. Sami says there's another solution. I'm going to replace him. And Adam Pearce says, okay, I did it for the Judgment Day, I'm doing it for you. So the match continues. Sami Zayn was on a roll right here. At times it still felt like the Usos are going to lose the championships, but eventually we got the 1D with Sami Zayn and they retained the championships. Sami Zayn was posing with the tag team championships and this felt kinda sus. He later on gave the championships to Jey Uso, but it felt like he liked the idea of being a champion, of being a tag team champion. And maybe he liked that idea a little bit too much. I believe this is something that will be mentioned later. Why would you pose with these championships that are not yours? The clear answer is he wants these titles, and that's when we are going to get Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos. We see JBL, Baron Corbin, and Godfather. They want to enter the casino, but of course, Baron Corbin is not invited. We see the owner, which is obviously Ron Simmons, and you know, they made it work. All he needs is a little bit of cash. We saw LA Knight on Monday Night Raw, which was really unusual, and he talked about Bray Wyatt. But then he called out all the legends. He wants to show them an example of what's going to happen to Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble. So he keeps waiting and waiting and no one shows up until we hear the Undertaker's song. But then it cuts to another song and it's the American Badass Undertaker, which was really fun to see. LA Knight even mentioned how the Undertaker on Joe Rogan's podcast talked about the roster being soft. But LA Knight says, I'm not soft. You probably didn't see what I'm capable of. There's a headline we could create right now. LA Knight sends the Undertaker to the Undertaker, but then he, you know, forgives the Undertaker. You know, I'll let you live. Then we hear Bray Wyatt's theme song, and this was an amazing moment. LA Knight being trapped by the Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. The Undertaker went for the chokeslam, but then he just gave LA Knight to Bray Wyatt. And then he just... I don't know what he told him. That's probably not part of the script. He probably said, you got this, kid. You know, all I see is these softies who play video games. You got this, brother. I'm giving you the torch. Don't play video games. Go to the strip clubs. Drink beer. Take drugs. This was a beautiful moment. Then of course we saw everyone playing poker again. And it was time for the steel cage match, Bayley versus Becky Lynch. This was kinda bizarre. So Damage Control attacked Becky Lynch, locked themselves in the cage and beaten the living crap out of Becky. Then we see Adam Pearce. Eventually he unlocks the cage. The match just never happened. And yeah, that was interesting. Possibly to save some time, could be. But I kinda feel like the match wouldn't have done as much as this segment right here. This made things a little bit more personal. The match couldn't achieve that, in my opinion. Then we saw D-Generation X with Kurt Angle. I was like, what the hell is this guy doing right here? So they were doing their catchphrase and it was time to mention Billy Gunn, but it was Kurt Angle. I always wanted to be in the X. They were doing their catchphrase again and then we see the Imperium. There's nothing to celebrate. You made a mockery of the sport. Now someone has to fight the Imperium. And of course we got this joke of all of them being old. No one is fighting the Imperium, not even Kurt Angle. But then we got Seth Rollins, we got the Street Profits, and now we need a special guest referee. No one is listening to Kurt, but he has a solution. He's gonna be the special guest referee. Triple H says, I have an idea. Kurt Angle should be the special guest referee. Just took that credit. Also, another funny thing about the segment, Triple H said, it's not easy to book this. Now someone needs to make it official, and of course we got Teddy Long with a tag team player catchphrase. He's a SmackDown guy. Anyway, the match wasn't anything that special, but like I've said, I don't mind it. This was a special of Monday Night Raw. I'm not really, you know, looking for a lot of story development. I'm just looking for nostalgia, funny moments, and all of that shit, right? So of course the babyface team won. Oh, this was hilarious. So basically Baron Corbin and JBL won all the money, but yes, we got the IRS and you gotta pay your taxes before after. Now, this was supposed to be a funny moment. I kinda felt it. This felt real to me, damn it. Bobby Lashley says he doesn't need Omos or MVP tonight. We see Ric Flair and he introduces to the greatest woman. Everyone. Women's champion. He introduces us to Charlotte Flair. I'm the SmackDown Women's Champion, but Raw will always be my show. We see Bianca Belair. No, I am run Monday Night Raw right now. Raw is my show. I go here. Then we see Sonya Deville, and of course, typical Sonya shit. They all argue. Charlotte says, well, Bianca, you should face Sonya. How about that? You're a champion. Yes, I'm a champion. Champ. And we got the match, and Bianca Belair defeats Sonya Deville, and she says, Alexa, I didn't forget about you. And Alexa says, I'm going to walk out with the Raw Women's Championship. Ooh, spooky Alexa. Just get this done and over with. The Miz is angry that he didn't get a segment for this special episode of Monday Night Raw, and he got attacked by Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens promises the WWE fans that he will take the WWE Championship and you will have a champion you're proud of. I'll either win the championship or die trying. He said that before, by the way. Liar. And then he stuns the Miz again. And it was finally time for the United States Championship match. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley. This was really fun. United States Championship in the main event of this special episode of Monday Night Raw. You love to see it. So no complaints right here. The fans even got to experience their, tables fetish. But then we hear Brock's music. F5 to Bob Lashley. F5 to Austin Theory on top of Lashley, and he allows, Austin Theory to retain the championship. Yeah, Brock is back. We are going to see Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley again. How do you guys feel about that? I'm not too interested, honestly. We've seen it already. I feel like Bobby could have a better match. I feel like Brock could have a better match. There's Gunther. Come on. But maybe it's gonna be good, I'm not gonna complain. It's not something I would hate to see, it's just something that I've seen before. So yeah, very decent episode of Raw, really fun. I like I've said, I didn't expect much, and I got exactly what I wanted actually. Nostalgia is great, it's not something you will see every damn week, so why complain? Thank you for watching The Great One. Peace, love and hugs, it's been a pleasure.